Talking about ghetto life. So drink. Oh dang, I gotta do it from this side so you can see, because like I'm a dreamer. Shout out to all the dreamers. My goal is every week you're gonna see me with a new mug. Cause during the Christmas period we did like a little Secret Santa, and they had this app where you pretty much it directs you to Amazon and you make a wish list. And I seen all these mugs on Amazon, and I was like, I think that's gonna be my shtick for my show, new mugs, because I already been a mug guy anyway. But you are now watching Juke Boy Sports Show. I'm your host, Kyng Ralph, here with my homie, the homie Marv. What's good with you, my boy?
What up?
How was your day?
How y'all doing? Man, good. Just resting, relaxing. About to hop on the grill in a little bit. You know what I mean?
Hey,
So I can't complain.
I felt that. I felt that. Today was a good day. Got to kick it with Elena. Give me some Texas Roadhouse with bro them rolls with the butter. Oh,
I gotta try those. Everybody keep talking about these damn rolls.
hey, bro, gas. But before we get started, man, send a shout out to the sponsor. If you want to do a podcast like what you're watching, music video, photo shoot, call the number on the bottom of the screen, 707 Fitboxer. Make sure you go also while you're doing that. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff on all of our socials on the bottom. You can find me at KynGRalph on everything. Add an underscore for Twitter. Make sure you go and you like the Facebook page, the He Say She Say channel. Subscribe on YouTube, Juke Media, and follow us on Instagram, JukeSportsShow.com. Or, you see it. It's right there. Super Bowl is upon us. I hope I can avoid all of that traffic this upcoming weekend. Man, there was a part of me, bro. I've been following the Nightcap. Shout out to the Nightcap. They're doing a live show on Thursday, and at the time I had the money, and it was like I was confused because I was like, yo, you had to reserve a couch, but I was like, is it $250 for the couch, and it fits 4 people, so 4 people are splitting $250, or is it $250 a person? Because I was just like, splitting $250 among 4 people would be a dope experience to watch a Nightcap show live.
It's probably 250 a person.
Right. And that's the
More
thing.
more than likely.
It's like, nah, I'm not gonna accidentally purchase no wild amount of tickets like that.
Yeah.
But Super
It's
Bowl
trying
is
to do it big. It's Vegas.
on God. I tell people that all the time, bro. It don't even be nothing crazy. Like, I work at an ice cream place, and so the spot that I work at, we're known for our exotic flavors. Like, we have a blackberry bass cake. There's a cookie butter swirl, ube honeycomb. So people be walking up like, do you have vanilla? Like, sir, you just got done looking at the menu, my boy. First thing out your mouth after looking at the menu is, y'all got vanilla? Did you see vanilla
That's what I was looking
on
for.
the menu? He's like, yeah, I ain't see it on there. Why'd you come over here asking me this book? You know what? But so I be telling people like, yo, it's Vegas, bro. Try something. At least try it. I'm not saying buy it. I'm offering you a free sample to see if you like it or not. At least try it. They be like, nah, I'm good. I'll just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you're in Vegas, bro. Live life a little bit.
And I want the best vanilla ice cream that Vegas has to offer.
Yo, it was this older black dude. It was this older black dude. I let him try like a couple of my favorites, and he was like, I'm good. I just want vanilla, young blood.
No, young blood.
But we got 49ers, Chiefs, 49ers, however you want to say it, in the Super Bowl. Who you got winning and why?
I got the Chiefs. Why? Because I don't think they're gonna have Taylor Swift go through all of that, jumping through the hoops, having her at the game for no reason.
And she just won a Grammy, bro. It's
Yeah,
still,
that too.
it's
So
still.
like, and then Travis was like, "Well, no, I just got to bring home some hardware." Like he don't have a ring, so we'll.
Oh my God.
And they said, the Chiefs are really petty. like really, really, really petty. We seen them picking on Justin Tucker. Now, I don't mind the pregame antics, but y'all are picking on the kicker, bro. Like the kicker. But
Yeah,
that's how they are. They're petty like that. So they've been listening to a lot of the chatter that's been going on from the other side, reports are saying, and that's getting them motivated. A lot of the boos and stuff like that, because 49er fans are flooding out here.
right.
There's it's gonna be majority 49er fans in the building. So it's gonna
49ers,
be like
is
a
it the same shade of red?
no, it's not.
Yeah, it's like that.
40,
It's like that crunch,
49ers have
that
like
red, something like
they
that.
yeah, that's like I don't know if they still go with that old school Niners that like they did. It more may be like a I know the Chiefs red is a more vibrant red than the
Yeah,
Niners red though.
100%.
But yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of Niners fans. I'm still gonna pick the Chiefs. They're said to be underdogs in this game. Patrick Mahomes' record as an underdog is pretty remarkable at this point in his career.
100%.
Um, no one is still has found a way to stop Travis Kelsey, and
Dog.
other than that, the defense is showing up. That's been my only knock on them this entire run since Patrick Mahomes got there. Is can they get the defense up to par? And it seems like the defense for long stretches of time this year has actually carried the team. So I
Yep.
think they have everything in place. I think the sports books has the Niners as the favorites. So that's what the Kansas City's the dogs. So I think they're doing that so they can go ahead and rake up the money when Kansas City gets this dub.
100%, bro. I'd love to sit here and go through all these why the Chiefs defense is going to be able to get after the quarterback and create turnovers for Brock Purdy, or how the 49ers got so many different ways to attack. If you putting 8 in the box, then Ayuk and Debo down the field, Kittle going down the field is gonna eat you alive. Brock Purdy sat there in the NFC Championship game, showed his mobility and ability to create outside of the pocket or outside of a scripted play, i.e., broke that game management um talk. But with Chase Way winning the Grammy and the evaluation over almost 350 million evaluation since she's been going to these games, is I just feel like the fix is in, bro. And I hate to say
Not,
it.
right. Not to mention they're talking about the young girl demographic that all of a sudden is booming in the NFL. Like there
Mhm.
always it has it. There, I feel like there's always been, at least on the fan side of it, an overwhelmingly amount of female fans.
Right.
Like if you're a real fan and you're out there mingling in the bars and you're watching games or you're in the forums and you're talking about stats and things like that, fantasy drafts and things like there's women littered everywhere. So it's like I'm not getting where this narrative is coming from. But if the numbers are true, I don't think they're going to give that up. They're going to ride this train for as long as it lasts.
Hmm.
A lot of us are sick of it. Don't get me wrong. I want the Niners. You know what I mean? My mom was a Niners fan. So like I get it. I want the Niners to win because I want this whole Taylor Swift. I don't like
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes. I don't like that all of a sudden out of nowhere the fade is called the Kelsey. Like all
Yeah.
of it
Yeah.
needs to stop. All of it needs to stop. But hopefully the Niners can put us out of our misery.
Right.
But I feel like we haven't had a dynasty in what 20, 25, almost 30 years. So this is that, what I mean, the NFL's next dynasty. So I think, who there's a lot that you're going to get in the way of by the Chiefs losing. I feel like I don't want to say the fix is in because
Hmm.
it takes too many. It's too many moving parts for like what I mean. Like if you can think about keeping a secret just between four people is hard enough.
Right. Right.
So to get over 300 people to get this on the same page and the same narrative and to get always to get it right, I feel like maybe a little hard. So I don't want to say it's fixed, but we see some wild stuff, man. So hopefully they'll let these boys play ball and the best team will actually win.
That's facts. That's all I want to see, bro. Is I'm tired of the Pat not getting grounding calls. I'm tired of the roughing the
Crazy,
passer. You
crazy.
breathe on him the wrong way, and it's a flag being called. I just want to see a good hard nosed, knock down, drag him out football game.
We're not in the Super Bowl. They're just not. It's you know what I mean. It's too of a glitz and glamour stage
With an
for it to
Usher
be an
concert at
ugly football
halftime.
game.
Because I'm a
Right.
man. Yeah.
Make
A-Town
sure your girl stay at home.
slump.
Make
So
sure your girl stay at home. Do
I'm gonna
not bring her to
say
the Usher halftime show.
if I'm a betting man, Chiefs money line, and then I got to see what that over under look like. I haven't seen it. I'll probably say it later in the show. As long as it ain't nothing crazy, I probably would go over because I think that both defenses can be had, although at spurts they've been top 5, top 10 defenses all year.
Yeah.
So betting man, Chiefs. But if I'm just strictly analyzing what I see on the field, the 49ers should be able to win.
And the 49ers are completely healthy.
Right.
So, and I think today they don't have, there's no like walkthrough or anything like that. Like they just been chilling today.
Right.
So, I'm pretty sure they're going to do that for most of the rest of the week, have a walkthrough. They might pop the pads a little bit before game day. Other than that, them boys is completely healthy and ready to go. And we'll see, man.
Yeah. I think turnovers, penalties, and can Kansas City receivers catch the football and can 49ers defense complete the tackle? That is what the game is going to come down to. Next up, Pat Bev on his podcast. I think it's the Pat Bev podcast. Good podcast. If you haven't watched it, go watch that one. I watch that one often. They have some good takes, but he also spills the beans a little bit on certain situations that he's in. He talked about the Lakers and him and Russ being the issue when they were in LA. Now both of them are on winning teams, and the Lakers always have some dysfunction going on in La La Land. So leads me to the question: were they scapegoated?
I would say yeah, and to a big degree because everyone knew, even the casual fan could see that Russell Westbrook was not a good fit with the Lakers at that point in time. The way that they were constructed, um, the types of players that they had on their team, Russ just wasn't a good on the court fit, and then in most cases a locker room fit as well. Not to say that Russ is a bad guy, but just the personalities in the locker room at that time, Russ is more than likely going to rub them the wrong way, right? Now we forward to Pat Bev. Pat Bev catches a lot of flack, but people don't realize that Pat Bev was a scoring monster before he came into the league, into the college, right? Or into high school, into college, right? He's a scoring monster.
Yeah, man. I think that's the thing for me is I would definitely agree with you and say no. I mean, yes, they were scapegoated. I never thought that they were the issue specifically. I think that the issue has, and it's always been my criticism of LeBron is ever since he's reached a certain spot where of criticism, he just went immediately to instead of letting a team build organically, oh, give me this player, this type of player, this type of player, and let's see what we can do. And it doesn't always fit. It's it's one of those reasons why we have Kevin Love go from every other night it seemed like he was getting 20 and 20 to where he goes to 15 and 8. Chris Bosh was 20 and 10 with a couple blocks, couple assists a game. You see him dip down into that 15, 18 range with like eight rebounds. He's a spot up man that's protecting the rim, and it was like you just see their games are completely changed. And I think that when you get Russ, it's like, all right, LeBron, you have to come off the rock, bro. Like that's the only way that that's gonna work. And it's like you see LeBron lead the league in assists, and it's like, why? How are you gonna try to do this with Russ on the team. Like, that's just not Russ's game. Russ's game is not D Wade's game. It's a completely different game. Or Kyrie. Those were two players that once they found their rhythm and their spot on the floor with LeBron on the court, you can catch and react rather than needing the ball in your hand so much. It's like, all right, cool, I can use 2-3 dribbles and get to my spot. Rather than Russ needs the pick and roll. Russ needs catch it off the rim and run with him. And I don't know what happened in Russ's game. I remember when he was in OKC, that free throw pull up was counted at one point. I don't know when he went away from that, but I just noticed over time it was like if he's not getting to the rim, he's not effective. When he used to be such a knockdown mid-range shooter. And so then Patrick Beverley, you mentioned it before the pod, like, what team has he been on that wasn't in the playoffs? And it's like when you go to every team, like I can specifically say when he left LA to go to the Bulls, we were a completely different team with Patrick Beverley on the roster. On defensive end, certain players and where they pick their spots. I think a lot of what Kobe White is doing this season is a contribution of how he finished last year with Patrick Beverley on the team. You just seen a definitely different player when those players are on the court. And that's why I would say Lakers definitely scapegoated them boys.
Yeah, for sure.
Embiid hurt his knee against the Warriors. I know the conversation was about whether or not he was ducking smoke. We talked about it last week on the pod. Then on top of that, how he acted when they played against Denver, waving at the crowd. He finally comes back and plays. Now this part is the part that I don't necessarily blame him. Someone falls on your knee. That's not rest. That's just a freak accident. But he was considering that he already was having the talks of resting that leg, and then that's the leg that got hurt. Should he have rested? Did he make the wrong decision?
There's really, I would say if he felt like, I would say no. Why do I say that? Because he felt like he was healthy enough to be out there. If he felt like, hey, I feel like I'm in danger of injuring myself more, in spite of what the team medical staff says, in spite of what the team doctor says, in spite of you know what I mean, any previous injuries, anything like that, he chose himself to go out there. Now, is it because of the MVP race and things like that? We'll talk about that later. But at the end of the day, he said, "Yeah, I'm good enough to go," and he went out there. In spite of what anybody else says, you know your body better than anybody else. You know what I mean? They might tell you what's wrong, and you know whether you can push it or whether you can't push it. You know, look at Tom Brady coming back from injuries. Look at Kobe coming back from injuries. We're seeing like modern medicine, even Aaron Rodgers, right? Um, these injuries aren't as significant as they once were. So with that being said, I would say no because he made a conscious decision to lug himself out there on the court and have a go at it. So that it is what it is because it could have happened now or it could have happened in the playoffs. So there's really no guarantee of hey if I you know what I mean. So it's just unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. I think it's a freak accident, and it's one of those things you can't predict that. Like, there's no amount of rest that can stop you from someone falling on your leg.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. So I think it sucks because we'll talk about that a little bit later on. When it comes to the 65 game rule and the playing for awards and things of that such, I do think it's very unfortunate because there's nobody that was going to get the MVP over him if he just finished out the season that he was playing. Like, he's playing some of the most dominant basketball we've seen in a very long time from just a physical standpoint. Like, since maybe Dwight Howard, we haven't seen anybody that physical, that dominant at a big man position the way that he was playing. I know we had Jokic, but it's just a different style of basketball, down low, defensively, protecting the rim. So it's very unfortunate that I hope that he's able to come back, get enough games in him, stay healthy in the playoffs, so we can really see how good this team could be. So Team USA released a 41 player pool. I was trying to see if I can look it up on my phone, see if I can find. But I know Draymond was left off. I know Kyrie Irving, KD, LeBron. Were some names that were all left on there. While I find it, what do you think the likelihood of Kyrie actually making a team?
Very high, very high. Why wouldn't he? If if we're talking basketball, we're not talking political stance or belief systems or anything like that. We're talking basketball. Why wouldn't Kyrie be on the team? He gets along with mostly everybody in the league. They might count him as weird, but that doesn't mean they don't get along with him. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I would definitely put him in there. I would put him in all the what we would call now, I guess I can't believe I'm saying this, but all the old heads in the NBA. Not all of them, but you know what I mean. The LeBrons, KDs, Stephs, basically the group that came out right when when this idea was floated, when they were saying basically like the Redeem Team, we're tired of losing. We're gonna sign up. We're gonna play. All those guys who came out, I think they should actually play on the team, and then we would have a lot better shot because the world is caught up and in most cases surpassed USA in basketball as a team sport. We have good individuals, a la Anthony Edwards. Um, we got good shooters, Trey Young and Steph and Halliburton and all these other cats and stuff like that. But it's just like team basketball, the way it's supposed to be played, other countries are surpassed us. We're a bunch of AAU scouting, mixtape, you know what I mean? Highlight, shoot from the three, hot dog, and that's what we've come to as far as basketball in the NBA. So we need to get it together,
I
or
think
else
that
it's going to be bad for us in the world arena when it comes to basketball.
I feel you, bro. I think that, and I low key agree with Gil because thinking about like our most dominant teams, I think that the thing that they need to stop doing 100% is stop trying to build these teams like a team because I don't think we're the outside world has caught up to a certain degree where you can't just throw the best team that you can possibly put together or players that fit next to each other and then expect you're going to win when we go down the list. Yes, we have NBA player, but it's like, all right, every team has two NBA players on it at this point. Some teams got a little bit more than that. If not, they're playing in a league that the talent level isn't that far off from the US anymore.
And they've been playing together for years.
Exactly. They grew up. This is 32 years old. They've been playing together since they was 15.
Yeah.
And you just expect them to just go out there and throw whatever. Like when we talked about it on the pod before, it was like, yes, it's like seasoned D list players, and you thinking they're supposed to go dominate world competition. It's
Hmm.
like, nah, when we had the Dream Team, the Redeem Team, Dream Team 2, those were the best players in our league. Y'all better figure it out.
Yep.
Like the Dream Team going into it, everybody knew Mike was gonna get buckets. All right, cool. Magic gonna run the point. This person is doing this. Everybody knew their role, although they were the superstars of our league or the stars of our league. Everybody knew what their role was going into the Redeem Team. It's like, all right, everybody knows what their role is and what we are here to do. And so I
And
think over recently, yes, we had like the what was it, the 2000? Was it 2004 Olympics where they completely switched it up? It was like we won the World Cup the year before, and then when you go look at that team versus the team that lost to Puerto Rico, it was a completely different team with like two people
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
original team. Because T Mac was originally on the team that won the World Cup, but for some reason he didn't get invited in 2004, and that wasn't a year where he was injured either. And so it's like certain players that we had that were
I
that
mean,
good
like,
in the league didn't even get invited. And then
that's
you see
like what I was saying, going back to with Kyrie. I was like, long as it's not political involved, as far as like who makes it and who doesn't make it, long as they're not, long as that's not a part of the criteria, then I don't see why he doesn't make it. But we do know that that does have a degree. Um, uh, excuse me, that does have something to do with it to a degree. And we do have precedent for that when we seen that Isaiah didn't make the dream team.
right,
Isaiah Thomas was supposed to make the dream team, and then I'm not, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna throw no shade, but a certain someone chose not to, just outright chose, no, I don't want him on the dream team
like
for
nah,
personal reasons.
fuck
Right,
that.
for personal reasons. So it was like, as long as it's not a situation like that, I don't see why certain people wouldn't be on there. I think it should be a mix between today's or the up and coming future of the league and the old guard. Mix those two together as far as talent wise, make it work and get the best IQ, high IQ team out there you can possibly get, and a defensive minded team as well. So if you think you're just going to go out there and shoot up a whole bunch of threes and run everybody off the court, that's not going to happen, and we're going to finish in fifth or sixth place. That's just how it's going to go.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at it, and I'm sitting there looking at the pool and players and positions. And I think the one thing for us that's going to be key is who we pick as our bigs. Because whenever we struggle, we have bigs that really aren't bigs.
Yeah.
It's like you got fours playing fives, and
We
there's some
got threes
fives that are
masquerading as fives.
right.
I've seen
Like
I've seen us do that a couple years. Like, what? Come on, man. What is y'all doing?
y'all know how much of a fan I am of Paolo, but Paolo should never be playing the five. I don't care where we're playing. He should never play the five. And for
The same
long
dude.
stretches of the World Cup games or the FIBA championships that we just, I think we came in third, maybe even came in fourth. Um, is he was playing a five, and it's like we got Bam, Jared Allen, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Chet Holmgren, Walker Kessler are all people that are in the pool of players that would be playing the five.
You need Bam, bro.
Yeah, I think
You need that physical presence and Jared Allen. Those are the two that I would pick. And then
yeah, bro. I would
AD scares me, bro. AD scares me because I would pick three bigs. But AD
I would
scares the
take
life
I would
out of
take
me.
it. I would definitely for me, I'm gonna take Joel, Bam, and AD because
Right?
AD,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
AD and Joel can play the four too. I mean not Joel, but Bam can play the four also.
Hmm.
So from a defensive standpoint, switching out on picks, going with a smaller lineup just for like a quick couple spurts in a game is one of those things for me where I like the versatility, especially when it comes to the rule of you can slap it off the rim. And so those are the things for me. It's like, all right, so I think definite locks. If it's just these are players that if they want to do it, they're in. I just see AD, Joel, LeBron, KD, Book, Halliburton, Tatum, and then those are players for me as far as like USA players that I'm like everybody else just got to try to. I just got to see who's the better fit with what I got because I think there are some players that for me I would pick them, but I don't think that they're stand alone at their position where you could one could argue Scotty Barnes being on the team because of his versatility.
Hmm.
Did I say Steph? Because Steph's definitely another one too. I think his shooting ability alone and being able to play the one and the two, his action off the ball
Yeah.
is another thing that's like it has a gravitational pull.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean, it depends on who cares and who wants to go ahead and get out there and suit up, man. If we go ahead and get the third and fourth stringers and parade them out there with USA plastered across their jerseys, like that's gonna mean something. We got another thing coming. Simple as that.
we better we better have majority of the team be A list.
Gotta be.
We can win with A's and B's, but if we keep trying to trot out this no A lists and just B's and C's, it's not gonna work. And
Because at
so
one point we were trotting out college players and getting it done. Those
right,
days are over with.
facts, facts. They got grown men out here that really been playing together. Like any real hooper has gone to a rec center and played them old dudes that like can't jump over a phone book, but they play fundamental team basketball and they be eating y'all ass up.
That's facts.
Niggas can't jump over a phone book, but they be setting that screen and coming off the screen at the right angle. And it just if they can get the shot up, it's a bucket. But it just be
Out there
so
smelling
ugly
like
when they
cold
go
cut.
in every time.
That's crazy.
And so Juju Watkins, star for USC women's basketball, puts up a 50 piece, 51 to be exact. The reporter the sideline reporter, I guess you could say, in the post game interview, asking questions, talking some trash, mentions, oh, good 50 piece, oh, Caitlin Clark, who, and Juju shuts that down. Did the reporter go too far?
No, no. Let's not act like we don't know what they're trying to do and create a rivalry. You know what I mean? Okay, if you're gonna be one of the best, they did the same thing with Angel Reese. If you're going to be one of the best women out there, you're going to get compared to her. These are the type of the things that's going to happen. You know what I mean? And what pushes college basketball, male or female, better than rivalries? So I don't feel like, you know what I mean, it was out of bounds. They didn't say anything disrespectful, personal, or anything like that. It's just, that's just the nature of sports. When you outshine or you do something that, let's say, somebody's been going out there throwing for, oh my God, so and so's throwing for 3 touchdowns in the last 6 games. He's on fire, 3 touchdowns a game. This is amazing. And then the next person comes out and throws for 4 touchdowns for a longer streak of time. It's only right. It's only in everybody's right mind to think of like, oh well, so and so who, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the new guy. This is the new, like, and that's just the nature of sports. So do I feel like this out of bounds or did they go too far? No, because unless they are doing it maliciously, then yes. But if they're just honestly watching the game and like, yo, like this Caitlin who, like, because this is it right here. We don't see her doing this. You know what I mean? We see her jack up a lot of shots. She hits some, she misses some. People act like she's like Steph percentage wise, and she's not. So it's like, if she's coming from that aspect of like, I'm just blown away, then hey, I'm all for it. Other than that, I don't really see any harm in what was said.
I got an issue with it, man, because I think that players are sensitive, bro.
Oh
Regardless
my!
of how you
So
feel about it, is like they sensitive as hell. What if you start a beef because you asking some dumbass questions and I just answered
that's
them?
what we want. That's what I was saying. That's what we want.
Like, yeah,
It's on the court though. It's a on the court beef. This ain't. Oh, it might spill out into the streets or like I don't know, bro. Like that's crazy. I get
bro,
what you're saying. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
bro, they sensitive, bro, and it's like I come out here, like I can see, like if I came out said something, now you asking me about it, but you out here fishing out me to talk trash to another player, like nah, that not this. I'm not gonna use that moment to do this. I got to see her later. Now she didn't put up a 60 piece on me because you didn't boosted my head up after a career game. It's like, oh, Caitlin Clark, who, huh? It's like, yeah. I don't know who Caitlin Clark is. F her anyway.
Hey, see, I didn't say put dubs on it. You ain't gotta see now. That's crazy.
Right, right. You didn't gas me up, put a battery in my back. Now Caitlin Clark out here pissed off at me.
Yeah,
And that's
that's.
the
I'm
part
not
to me.
saying
Like,
do that, but that's
I do think she out of pocket, but I don't think like it's not to the extent where she went too far. Because she was joking and laughing when she said it. So personally, in this particular spot, I'm gonna say nah. She didn't go too far. I'm just talking trash. I had to be the opposite side of the situation. And speaking of sensitive and soft, Dame says that players say that they're not thinking about anything when they're out on that court. He goes on to say, "I'm not 21. I'm not 21. I got real issues going on, going through a divorce, family issues, and those are things I think about when I'm out on the court. It can affect me on the court. Is this era too soft?"
what happened to the court is my sanctuary. When I'm out there, everything else or was that fake? Was that just for the ESPN and the Sports Center cameras? Because me personally, whenever I was going through a lot, I get that peel in my hand and I go out there by myself and I just get in the zone. You see what I'm saying? And you really do. It's like a therapy. It's a release. It's an escape from the outside world. But I guess when it's your job, when you're on game 53 of an 82 game schedule, I guess it can be, you know what I mean? When you don't do basketball for the love of it and you're doing it because it's your job, then I guess it would come across a little differently. But I always thought that for especially somebody in the NBA, but that goes to show you because I know it's true in the NFL, but I don't see why it wouldn't be in the NBA as well. But not everybody loves the game the same, no matter how talented you are, no matter, you know what I mean? Not everybody has the same love, the same feel for the game as you would like them to. And this is just an indication of that right there. I never expected Dame, who was doing all that talking about not going to another team, grinding it out, ducking smoke, and all that other stuff. Now we're seeing a lot of mental weakness from him on that aspect. I'm not talking about his personal life, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people go through things and people handle that differently. But like I said, on the other hand of that, because it is a two-edged sword, this is your job. With nobody else, no one of us gets to say, "Oh, well, my mental things at home is keeping me from doing my job." Oh, well, you don't pay your bills. You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying? It's a, you know what I mean, not that he's checking out, but it's like don't use that as an excuse of why you're not performing. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like that is kind of like a scapegoat, you know what I mean? Because I guess he's leaning on trying to pull on the heartstrings of everybody. Like, oh well, I remember when I went through a divorce, or I remember my last breakup, and yeah, how bad it rocked me, and yeah, but you still had to go to work every day, and you had to
yeah.
perform at a certain level, or else your ass got written up and you got kicked out the door. So it's no different here. You see what I'm saying? So I I don't want to seem callous, but I don't care and I don't want to hear the excuses. This is your job. It's not just a hobby. You see what I'm saying? Like I was referring to earlier, this is your job. Go out there and get it done and perform at a high level so you can justify these millions of dollars. And yeah, I'll land there.
I feel you, man. I think that is one of those things where it's the times that we're in. I just was talking
Yeah.
about it the other day. I had some employees that, like my job, if you just call and say, "Hey, I got this going on. My car got towed. I got to pay extra child support today. Is just not a day where I'm feeling good that I'm going to give the best service." As long as you're not doing it all the time, they respect it. Like I literally just had to give someone a mental health day, and I think that that's a good thing as long as you're not abusing it. And so at the same time, it is one of those things where because of the jobs that we have, the way that we grew up, going and like from our era, hearing this is like that's wild because ain't nobody
Completely.
trying to hear your excuse, bro.
Yeah.
Like
For real.
if I got underdog fantasy and I got to take you and these rebounds over 40 and I go and put this $50 on it, I do not care about your divorce, my boy.
Yeah, I don't want to hear. I didn't grab the rebound because I was spaced out thinking about the
Yeah, like yeah,
It's up after that. Like you, what? Like you did? Are you, bro? We got a parlay riding on it, bro. Are you kidding me? So
oh
it's
god,
just like no. But all jokes aside, but you remember, like let's say, like you saying from our era, right? Remember Brett Favre and albeit on the Raiders. I hate to bring it up, albeit on the Raiders, but Brett Favre's father died. His father died. He didn't go through a breakup. People weren't just in his DMs saying nasty things about
yeah,
him or nothing. His father died. And he went out there, I think 3, 4 days later, and balled out. Why? Because the field was a sanctuary for him. He knew, hey, this is what my dad would have wanted me. You know what I mean? He
yeah,
was and he could have been bummed out. He could have took time off, or took time away from the game, and nobody would have faulted him for it. He
right,
went out there and he gutted it out, and he balled out. And I'll always have that as like a marker of what a true professional is supposed to do. Because in spite of his off the field ongoings, he went on the field and got it done. And I feel like it's the same thing with anybody else at any other job. Yeah, they're going to give you some time to grieve, but after that certain time, we need you back in the building and we need you performing, or else we got to find somebody else.
oh god. I do think it's one of those things where it is definitely a tough conversation, but because people do got feelings and stuff like that. But when I'm hooping, I ain't thinking about nothing but hooping. Like I don't know, like it maybe I haven't like I've hooped since I've had my daughter, but like I don't know, I haven't been in like a league where like I was in some leagues after I had my daughter. Yeah, when I'm hooping, I'm not thinking about the stresses of life. I do understand that. Yeah, we got feelings. We do go through life. I can understand it, like everything up until the game starts. But while I'm hooping, you saying you went 2 for 11 because you going through a divorce, and it's like yeah, it just don't even sound right. Like I'm all for me. I went through my mental health issues. I'm all for mental health. I'm gonna be an advocate for that for forever. But at some point, there's sometimes where we go a little too far. And I was talking about this with one of my coworkers the other day. I feel like at some part there should be a middle ground. Like some of our parents, they went from where they whooped us for everything to that next kid didn't get whooped for anything. And it's like at some point in life and discipline and all of that, we got to be somewhere in the middle where we're acknowledging bad days to make sure that they don't turn into bad days, turn into bad weeks, turn into months, but also holding people accountable for what the job is at hand and what we're here to do.
I agree with that. It just has to be a standard that's set
Yeah,
so people aren't you know what I mean using this as an excuse for simple things. Um, Not to say that this is a simple thing with the whole Damian Lillard situation, but the whole point being is mental toughness, man. We gotta tighten up. You know what I mean? We gotta put our big boy pants on and power through sometimes. You know what I mean? We can't talk about being these tough guys, and when tough situations come, we don't show toughness. You know what I mean? We can talk all that, mental fortitude and all that other stuff, but when it comes time to be tough, we actually got to put the pedal to the metal and do it. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is just one of those times where he can show people who are also like him on the other side that are going through the same thing that men can be just as strong and get through this, and you know what I mean, and we can come out good on the other side. There's a lot of positives that can come from him putting his head down and powering through as well, as far as a success story, and you know what I mean, how to deal with something like this that is very advantageous to what you got going on in your professional life. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's that end to it too.
and I celebrated a little too early. Cliff Kingsbury thought he was coming to the Raiders as our offensive coordinator. Pulls his name out the hat at the last minute. Says, "Hey, I'm gonna go on over here to DC, Chocolate City. They fucking with me over there." Um, we turn around and sign Luke Getsy. which I've heard about us trying to trade. There's the possibility of us trying to trade for Justin Fields. I feel like this shoots that in the foot immediately. Lou Getzey, I watched the one thing that I can say is I watched a lot of Bears games. And I still think that there's some positive that can come from this. There's like a positive side. I'm an optimist at the end of the day. There's a positive side of this. But I do think that this was a panic hire. And so leads me to the question, did the Raiders panic? I'm going to say yes, because I feel like there were other candidates that we very well could have went after. Brian Greasy was someone that we could have went after. I think that was Kubiak's son was another one that we could have went after. And then I just think that Getzey has too much negative film out there that for me to feel confident in this. But the one thing I'll say is I watched a lot of the Bears this year, and regardless of what it was, the Bears got better as the season went on. And you could put that on Justin Fields. You could put that on the play calling, coaching, whatever it is. How he looked at week 1 compared to week 6, compared to week 12, compared to week 18 is all of these things are – there was a growth from week to week that you saw from Justin Fields, and he played better. The offense looked better. I feel like there was times where they could have ran the ball and had more design runs instead of trying to just make him a pocket passer, which is not what he is. I think that there's some things that we can take from this and build from it, but also at the same time, I don't see Justin Fields coming to the Raiders after us getting Luke Getzey. So at some point, I'm kind of confused on what direction are we going to go in?
I think they should have. Is what happened with with Eric Bieniemy?
That's another one. I don't get it.
I don't get it. But that's a different discussion for a different day. Um, I feel like schematically, what Getsy brings to the table, I can see how that would be attractive. I feel like he was by the time my man pulled his name out the hat, that's who they had left as far as who was available. If you go back and like you said, you go back and look at the Bears and schematically what they put on the field, it should work. It just comes down to execution for me. So that brings me to who's the quarterback. We're not going to know how successful this is going to be until we get a halfway decent quarterback in there. Not to say that O'Connell isn't, but I don't know. I think he'll be just as if we're going to have a Justin Field-esque type season if O'Connell is left to learn the system for his first time. Because, like you said, it's going to be midway through the system midway through the season before he feels comfortable enough making certain reads and certain throws. Because in that Chicago system, it takes a lot of things that you aren't naturally used to setting yourself up in the pocket. And you got to trust the system that that receiver is going to be there when he's going to be there and throw to that spot and things of that sort. If you're not used to making certain throws, that system is kind of going to take some, you just kind of, it's going to take a couple weeks to get acclimated and trust certain your routes. I would say, throwing certain route combinations. That's what I was trying to get at. So when you're not used to throwing certain route combinations, it makes you hesitant and it makes you low key see ghosts as a quarterback. So that's why certain quarterbacks thrive in certain systems they don't because of the route combinations and where their eyes are forced to go because of where the reads are and things like that. So if we get a above average quarterback, I feel like the Chicago system or his Getsy system is very, 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 very productive, and it'll look very, very well if it's ran at a high level. But
Yeah,
we gotta wait and see what we do.
I think he's a brand new coordinator also. So there's a lot to learn from mistakes that you had. I just got done watching a AP interview on the Pat McAfee show, and I feel like he's someone that'll hold people accountable while
Yeah, definitely.
also wanting the best out of them. And so
Hmm.
it's just how much juice can they squeeze out that orange in order to be able to get the most out of the talent that they have on the field. And I
Yeah,
think that Aiden is someone that can grow, but at the same time, I don't know what his ceiling is.
that's what I was gonna say. What's his ceiling? Are we looking at a Tony Romo? Are we looking at a, you know what I mean? Like Tony Romo was good, but it
Right.
was just like he wasn't
It was
to.
capped at a certain point.
Yeah, he was a good. I would say his cap would be the divisional round. So
Right.
it's just like, "Ugh, you're
Yeah.
you're good, but you're not good enough." Like
Right.
you know, and I think I think that might be the ceiling for him as far as like he does have a little mobility, he has a little hot dog, a little cowboy in him. But he's very like he'll surprise you. Like you know, what I mean? You're like, wow, I didn't see that coming. So I feel like if he can step it up, then yeah, what I mean, we have a something to work with.
And so we got our 2 minute warning, man. I'm gonna give you 60 seconds. A person. Are you surprised Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Lions, decided to stay with the Lions?
No, they probably promised him something that we're not seeing from the outside. And it was like, yo, just stick with the team. We like what we have going here. Dan Campbell's out, right?
Nah.
That he stayed as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, so they probably like what they have there as far as like a staff. Like what I mean, it seems like a very family oriented. Everybody's there, band of brothers type of a deal. So I'll feel like he didn't want to leave that, go somewhere, start over, be the new guy, get acclimated to everybody. I've grown to admire and care for these players and the system, and I made a name for myself here. Why go start somewhere else? And like I said, who knows what incentives they gave him behind the scenes?
I agree 100%. I think that I'm not surprised at all. I feel like how close they got to winning a Super Bowl. I feel like it's better to try to leave after getting the deed done
Yeah,
rather
definitely. You want to
than
finish the
you
job.
came up short. There's questions about your play calling. Then to try to go somewhere and it's like, all right, cool. Let's run it back. Let's retool, get the dub, and then all right, cool. I did what I was supposed to do over here, and let me go run the helm and see if I can do it on my own.
Yeah.
And so I was watching I was watching Pat Bev, and he was talking about how inspiring JJ Redick was and how he played in college basketball and when he played it at Duke. So it got me thinking, who is your favorite college player, basketball player that you've personally seen?
Carmelo Anthony. There's no question.
Yeah. Melo's
There's
that boy.
bro. Melo is different, bro. Like he's the reason why I wore number 15. Melo was that guy, bro. Like when in a year when we had to sit out and wait for LeBron for that year so he can go to the league. Melo
Yeah.
won the national championship and
Yeah.
caught like for me that was just like he could have did the same thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it
Fact.
was like, I'm gonna go to school and win this chip. And that was just like the run he went on, and seeing how Syracuse has kind of been in the slump ever since. That was, what I mean, and to go to Syracuse and do that was wild. You know what I mean? I feel like that was another one. Hakeem Hinafawache.
Yeah.
Who else did they have? They had a couple dogs. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But
Yeah.
hey, but that boy Mello.
Was it McNamara or something like that? That boy had a strap.
I believe. Yeah, I believe so.
And Hakeem Ward was another one.
Yeah, yeah.
They had a couple people on there, but what Melo held it down for that year. I felt that. For me,
Yeah, it
bro,
was Hakeem Ward. It was Hakeem Ward. That's who it was. Yeah. He
me
came up because
Kimba and what he
Kimber
did
was
that
nice,
run
man.
that he did, and then they ended on the ending of the Big East championship game with the cross step back.
Yes, Notre Dame player. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
Notre Dame. Yeah,
and then the run that he went on in the tournament. To this day, the way that he played Ben Gordon, Jay Williams. I'll say in the college tournament, if you got really good guard play, you got a chance
Oh yeah,
to
yeah,
this day. And that's the and going from that is pretty much in it. Mateen Cleaves and Mo Pete and what they was able to do with Michigan State. Like, yeah, if you got the better guard play, I'm most likely gonna side with with your team. Next up, 65 games. Players been whining about the 65 game rule. Is 65 games fair?
yes. It's more than fair. Once again, what other job can you perform less than what is that? We're looking at you're performing less than 60% of your job, but you still have job security. I don't get that. That doesn't make sense. Not even a little bit. And it goes back to what Kobe and Mike and all of them were talking to. There's cats that never seen me before. You know what I mean? They've never been in a position to buy their own tickets or whatever, and now they are. And now they come here, and you sitting out in a suit on the bench, or in a Gucci shirt, or
Laughing at shit.
some stupid dumbass outfit. And you just ha ha and
This nigga
kiki and
laughing
like,
at shit, bro.
bro.
What the fuck?
I'm sick, bro. I done brought my son here, and he got on your jersey and some more shit, and you sitting here looking like somebody auntie on the sideline. Nah, bro, we're not doing that.
I felt
So
that.
it's 65 games. I would bump it up to 75 games. That's the type of nigga I am. Like that's crap. I'm sick of it, bro. I'm sick of it. Like it's crazy. For the ones who are really injured, hey, take your time. You're really injured. You're injury prone. But if you're injury prone, the NBA is where you want to be. Let's be real. They're the most patient league when it comes to injuries that I've ever seen. Yeah, NFL, you're out of there. You got 1-2 years tops and you're gone. We don't care. Hey, good luck somewhere else. So I
It
feel
depends
like
on how
that's not.
good you are, though.
Hey, I seen some people. They was just like, well, he's like on his third team due to injuries, and he's still like, it's just NBA is crazy.
Yeah,
So
that
I
part.
feel like,
Yeah, that part. NFL ain't doing that. You got two
yeah.
teams
So,
max. You got two teams max, maybe three, depending on how good you are. Because Josh Gordon
oh,
got a bunch of opportunities before they gave up on him.
yeah, but that was an injury. That was weed.
He still
The
got
big
3 games
difference.
though.
Big difference. He was just smoking though. That's different between I physically cannot perform. That didn't come until like later in like the Browns era or whatever. You know what I mean? And I think it's because all of the inactivity from not playing so damn much to keep it real. But yeah, that was weed.
Because I think he played for the Browns, Chiefs,
He played for a lot of the Seahawks.
and Seahawks, bro.
He played for a lot of teams.
He said, "Hell no, bro. I'm gonna smoke that blunt. Fuck that, bro. I'm
Stay
gonna hit the
off
wood,
the
bro."
weed.
That's it. That's where it came from. Stop smoking the weed, man. And Super Bowl, we talked about it earlier. Instead of the game, what are some of your favorite eats from a Super Bowl event?
I'm gonna keep it with a hood classic that Rotel did
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
fried wings hard.
All, all
What
extra
yeah,
more,
yeah. And
all
and,
flats.
uh, and what old girl said? Got me a Sprite.
Oh my god, bro. You know what's crazy is what I've really been wanting, and it sounds wild because I normally never crave this, but deviled eggs. I just want me a
I
bomb
think
ass.
I'm gonna make some of those fire. Hey, deep fried deviled eggs. That's how I'm gonna do it.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I just
Deep.
tried, and it was like I was like, yo, this is a game changer. You take that, then your normal recipe, and blend the yolk with some avocado. And I was like, ooh, top with paprika. I was like, yo, that shit sound like it go.
I'm gonna
So
let you try it, and you let me know how it go, and then I might try it because
I'm
it sounds good
I'm
in
making my
theory.
menu right now because we're going over to Trey crib to watch the game. So I'm trying to decide right now. I definitely want to make that, and then I'm not sure. I had this Philly cheesesteak pasta that I made one time. I might make that,
That sounds good. I ain't gonna lie to
right?
you.
On God. And it's been a good show. Thank you all for watching. We do got to get up out of here. Follow all of our socials and the huge love, peace, and the Aces 3P.
Go Knights.